We are back. We are the Ducross brothers, the sports warriors. Tristan Ducross, Sean Ducross. Cross that line. We're bringing you local MMA fighters, giving them a platform to give themselves something unique and different, because eventually, I hope, everybody wants to become an MMA pro, so why not give them a platform to actually shake the jitters out of them? But Dana Hernandez still has the jitters. Dana Hernandez from Threshold MMA is with us. There you go. She is so nervous. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
See, it wasn't too bad getting you put on the spot earlier in the show. Warmed you up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, tell everybody, how did you ever get started in MMA and why?
Really? Okay.
Really? That's how you started?
Well, let me get my thoughts going. Okay. I have 3 kids, and my daughter, she's going to be 8 this year, just kind of fell in love with wrestling in itself. So I figure I've never been a person to play sports or anything like that. So when I saw her love something so much, I figure I want to connect with her. And I started taking wrestling classes with her. I would go to her tournaments, be like, right off the mat, trying to help coach her, even though it wasn't my job to do. And I slowly just started falling in love with it. And where I was training, they did striking, they did grappling, and I just decided to start doing everything. And I never had the intentions to fight. Like, I would go to the fighters class and be the only girl there, and sometimes there'd be girls there to work with, and it just slowly, by the end of that year, it was kind of like, my coach Bobby would be like, "Oh, you ready? You ready? You're gonna fight next month." And I would always say no, like, no, that's not something I'm gonna do. And when the next year came around, like, I finally came up to him and I'm like, okay, I'll try it, And I just always said no, because as you can tell, like, I get anxiety and I'm like so nervous about everything, being in the spotlight. And when I first walked into that cage, well, the first time that I was supposed to fight, the fight didn't happen. I still ended up grappling that day, and that's actually when I met you guys. I ended up fighting later, like a month later, and when I stepped into that cage, I was the calmest that I've ever been. And that to me was a new feeling. I'm not calm about anything. Like, I'm always so nervous, and so just being in there and I honestly think now, after the 2 fights that I've had, I get more nervous doing weigh-ins because I have so much attention on me. Even though I know I have all the attention on me when I'm fighting, I don't see it. Like, I'm in that cage, I'm in a zone, and it's just me and that person. I don't see all the people looking at me, and I still, I get more nervous being at weigh-ins and having a camera there, or just having people just looking at me, rather than when I'm in the cage fighting. So once I finally fought, I'm like, okay, I can keep doing this. Like, I've finally found something where I'm like, I feel like myself, and I'm calm, and it's a good feeling.
So when you got into that cage for the first time and you said that you felt a sense of calmness, was there like some type of tunnel vision that you saw going in? Because I've always heard or talked about that when you go in there calm, you see things at a different type of either pace, mm-hmm. or you just see things mathematically a little bit different, as weird as that may seem. There's just different stuff that goes on.
Yeah. Because even like watching fights on TV or just being there, I've been at a couple of different shows already, and just watching the fights, everything's happening so fast. When you're in there, I can see every punch coming at me, and I was letting them hit me half the time. But regardless, it still happens so much slower when it's happening to you, and it's hard to explain. But it's just like seeing somebody else do it. It just seems so fast, but everything does slow down when you're in there. It's different.
See, isn't that funny how you can go from combat, boxing, football, whatever it may be, and as long as you're an athlete in that moment, everything slows down when you've trained so hard to get to that point.
Yeah.
And where you're at this point, where do you see your MMA going? Is this something you're planning to do for the foreseeable future, or is this something you're just kind of seeing playing in one step at a time?
I'm playing it one step at a time. I'm definitely still learning a lot. Like I said, I started training 1.5 to 2 years ago, and I did take a couple months off at the end of last year after I fought in June. I did take a couple months off, so now I'm getting back into it. You know, we have a new home, which is Threshold, and it feels good. It's a family, and just getting work in and anywhere from 6 to 7 days a week. Like, I'm trying to put in the time to become better, and I want to give myself that time. I still have so much to learn, and I just want to see where it takes me.
When you talk about that, it's much more as a family. Does that help you in your training about wanting to make sure you put everything 110% into it because you know who's behind you, who's backing you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just because you know all the people that are there putting in that time, even people that don't intend on fighting. Like, you know, I brought my partner Allison with me. She's my main partner, and she just does it for fun. And it's just, you have people there that are just investing their time to help you grow, even if they don't plan on doing this in the cage. They're just doing it for fun, but they still make it every single day to practice with you and help you grow. And so I feel like I owe them that. When I get in that cage, like, I need to give it my all, and I need to do all the time that I'm putting in and they're putting in for me. Like, I have to show it, and I have to show them that I'm doing my best every time.
So by doing your best, what are you expecting to get out of the new camps and the new fighters that are there at Threshold MMA? Who's coming out of that camp that you're intrigued to see, if anybody's fighting?
Right now, I'm the only girl fighter coming out of Threshold. We do have somebody fairly new as well. Probably not fairly new in fighting, but he's new to our gym. His name is Daniel Ochoa, I believe. He just started coming to train with us, and as of right now, fighter-wise, I think we're the only two, and we just have a big group of people that just love it all in itself. And I think it's because we have such a good example, which is Bobby. Like, everybody sees how much he loves what he does, that it makes people want to do it, whether they plan on doing it in the cage or just to learn, or even just to do grappling tournaments with us. People see how much he loves what he does, that it makes them love it too. And so we're surrounded by so many people, and fighter wise, like I said, there's only 2 of us right now, but it's going to grow. It happens. We're new, and people will come and try us out, you know.
Getting a chance to talk to Bobby over the course of how long we've known him now and had him on our show, Bobby's one of the unique guys in that you don't meet a lot of guys in this field that's humble and that is very approachable or likable, for that matter. And he's that type of guy, and it's interesting to hear that when you talk about family. And it's just like Bobby Sanchez, you go to battle with him any time of the day. His record may be something completely different, and we talked about the last time we had him on our show was his record says something completely different. But at the end of the day, those are the guys that are exactly transitioned to good coaches.
Like I always throw out there, you look at Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky, one of the greatest hockey players ever, but put him behind a bench, he couldn't coach. That's the thing. Some people are meant to coach and not fight. Bobby Sanchez loved to do both, but he's one heck of a coach. And when you put it all together, that is something that you can't take away because it feeds off every single person.
Yeah, definitely. I think even if anybody was interested, just come train with us for a day. We do have, we actually have a couple friends coming to work with us this coming up weekend. And I just think if you give Bobby a chance, if you don't have a coach right now, if you want to get into it, anything like that, that would be the person to go to. Like, he will dedicate so much of his time to you. He doesn't take any days off. You can't get the guy.
Dana's selling Bobby Sanchez and Threshold MMA to the world right now.
I will tell him, just because he's taken me to work with other coaches before, all great coaches, but I just don't see myself going to train anywhere else. Like, that's home, that's all family.
And she was nervous, right?
That's what I was saying.
Don't call me out. But no, seriously, he just dedicates a lot of his time to anybody. Like, if you really show that you're dedicated, he's going to give you everything he's got.
What are your guys' expectations right now with Threshold MMA?
We just want it to grow. We want people to know, we're there, whether it's for fighting, whether it's, I think as of right now, our biggest class is our women's class, and it's just women that want to learn to defend themselves. I think that's something so important. Like I said, it's not so much to fight all the time. It's not so much being in the cage, but just knowing as a person to defend yourself. If anything happens to you, like, that's his main goal, I think. And just all of us as a family, like, people that have gotten into Threshold right now, like, we just want people to have that in them, to know that if I'm walking down the street and somebody comes up to me, I know at least something to defend myself.
See, and that's the thing that I like about MMA is the fact is that I think all women, whether they want to compete, should do it. And it's something that I plan to put my daughter in when she gets older because of that. You don't know which guy is going to come around the corner. You don't know what's going to happen on the street day to day. So I want to know that if I'm not around my daughter at that point in time, she's able to defend herself. And I think all women should take some form of defensive class for whatever it may be, whether it wants to be competitive or just to be able to protect yourself at unforeseen events, because you just don't know. You see it every day in life, is that when you least expect something bad to happen, lately it seems like that's just right around the corner. And it's quite frankly, the society that we are in is so weird and unpredictable. So yeah, if you're a woman out there and you want to protect yourself, go learn with Dana Hernandez and Threshold MMA. Get it out there and be able to protect yourself. But come May 12th,
You have a fight.
i.e. Fight Nights in Ontario, are you going to protect yourself?
Yeah, of course. I have to. I mean, I don't want to walk out of there looking a mess. No, I definitely, I'm putting in the work, so I have to give it my all when I walk in there. I really do. And I always do. The two times that I did, even when I, grappled instead of fought that time, I'm always going to go in there and give it everything I've got. And if, whether when I win or I lose, I still have to learn something from it. I have to take something from each fight. And so I'm looking forward to it. I actually went to their last show, which was on the 24th of last month. And I like how they put the show together. I like that they were focused on the fighters. Like, are you guys comfortable? Do you guys have everything you need? Backstage, like, I feel like a couple of shows that we've been to, like, they don't focus so much on the fighters, but they're the ones putting the show, So I think it's honestly a great show to fight for, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's the thing that
Lorenz
our
Larkin,
experience,
David Bramlett.
Yeah, that was our experience when we were there the 24th, was the fact that they focused on the fighters. And when we spoke to Lorenz Larkin, who is a fighter, who does fight for the Bellator, was that he wants to give back to the fighters. Treat the fighters as they should be treated, because there are other promotions out there that don't treat fighters as fighters. And it's like, yeah, they're amateurs, but they're fighters. They want to do this. So why are you treating them less?
And come May 12th in Ontario at, what is it? What is the arena? I totally
California
Yes.
Education
Not gonna say
of
that.
Performing Arts in
Nope.
Ontario, California.
I was trying to say that all night when I was calling the fights. Nope. Nope. I called it CSEC. We'll just call it that. Because I was like, I am not saying that long word. We are on air. That would take me 4 million years just to get that out. Nope.
So May 12th, what can the fight fans expect from seeing Dana Hernandez in the cage?
If anybody's, I don't know if one of my fights was for sure on TV. If anybody's watched me fight, I just want to say I think I've grown a lot more from the last two times that I fought, and I expect to come out of there with a win.
You
this
said
time.
your wrestling's a 2.
My wrestling's a 2, yeah. 'Cause you have to keep learning. Like, nobody, I just.
You can still learn and say that you were like a 5.
No.
You said you were a 2. I have vastly improved. Wrestling's a 2, though.
Well, then I'll let you be the judge of that.
Okay.
There you go. May 12th, we'll be the judge of the of wrestling, as we call the action for IE Fight Nights.
We are the New Cross Brothers. We are the Sports Warriors. We do this every Wednesday. Right here at IELiveTV.com, on Facebook Live, on YouTube.
You're at the Warriors Den,
right?
That's what you're calling it now?
Absolutely. Dana, what do you think? Warriors Den?
I like it.
You like
It's
it?
a good ring to it.
Right?
There you go.